For more than 90 years, Back Bay Mission has been a leader in serving the poor and marginalized of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Whether it's providing a welcoming space in the Micah Day Center, creating and sustaining affordable housing through our housing rehabilitation program, or any of our other ministries, Back Bay Mission is well known as the place that strengthens neighborhoods, seeks justice, and transforms lives. The mission is also a leader in providing immersion experiences which educate people about the issues we address and the people we serve. This summer, we started a new chapter in our educational programming when we welcomed the first two Shari Prestemon Social Justice interns, Diarra Molock and Bethany Beaver. I'm Chris Marlin Warfield, Church Relations Associate at Back Bay Mission, and today we're going to hear Diarra and Bethany talk about their experience.
My name is Diarra Molock. I'm from Fort Washington, Maryland. I'm an upcoming junior at Godfrey College, but I'll be spending this upcoming 2014 fall semester studying abroad in Chengdu, China. And I'm a history major, sociology minor.
I'm Bethany Beaver. I grew up in Louisville, Ohio, which is a suburb of Canton, Ohio. I go to Heidelberg University, which is in Tiffin, Ohio. It's the UCC-affiliated school, and I'm double majoring in political science and religious studies. And currently I'm undecided between pre-law and pre-ministry, although I'm highly considering doing both in a dual program once I graduate from my undergraduate.
We actually had a pool of about 6 or 7 applicants.
That's Kenny Washington. He's the Director of Client Services and current interim Executive Director at Back Bay Mission.
And Charles Brown, the interim director at the time, and I actually interviewed them. And we offered them a list of questions and why they think they would be a perfect fit for Back Bay Mission and what enticed them to even apply for this particular internship.
Diarra and Bethany had different reasons for applying for the Shari Prestemon Social Justice internship. Diarra was particularly interested in the social justice aspect.
It was listed as a social justice internship, and I'm a part of the social justice ministry at my church, and I'm very passionate about the things that Christ has always taught us to do to serve the least of these in society. That's my passion.
Bethany was interested in a mission immersion experience that would allow her to meet new populations and maybe give her some direction for life after college.
So after looking into it and seeing that it had to do with a lot of mission-oriented work and also dealing with various populations that I have not exactly been exposed to entirely growing up especially, I thought the experience itself and how enlightening it would be very beneficial for myself. And also, since I am undecided between pre-law and pre-ministry, I was hoping it would help lighten my path on where I would like to go.
We thought, out of the 6 people that we interviewed, that they would be a perfect fit for the people that we were trying to bring in and the experiences that they were trying to obtain also.
For 10 weeks, Diarra and Bethany served alongside mission staff in each of our ministries. They helped at the Micah Day Center, assisted in the food pantry, and sat in on conversations with homeless and at-risk clients. They visited other service agencies, met with their leadership, and learned what happens behind the scenes. They worked with staff, served with volunteers, and listened to the stories of clients and guests. Kenny Washington sought to create a mission immersion experience that would be the kind of experience he would want to have if he were an intern with us.
You know what? I mean, I looked at it from a perspective, if I was in their shoes, what would I would want out of the internship? And I wanted to try to expose them to, each and every program, and also to extend what we was offering here to also make them aware of what the impact that Back Bay Mission has made in this community also, basically giving birth to several agencies within the community. So I said, you know what, it would be a great idea for them to actually, for me to reach out to these organizations that Back Bay Mission helped establish, and actually for them to have sit-down one-on-one conversation with the EDs of these organizations. Not only to talk about the impact that these organizations continue to make in this community, but how Back Bay Mission was instrumental in establishing those individual agencies.
Once I got to Back Bay, Mr. Washington, who was our boss for the summer, he really wanted us to get an entire experience. I still got to work with veterans and sit in on some of the programs which Back Bay Mission has for them. But I also had an opportunity to run the food pantry by myself one day, and that was a phenomenal experience. I was a volunteer coordinator for weeks, and I got to work with the work camp groups and orient them on Sunday evenings when they showed up. I got to do outreach with Roxanne. I got to work in the Micah Center.
I often answer phone calls, which I think was such a interesting experience. It really puts things into perspective because it's such a small action, but it really does show you the needs in the community when you have 50 plus people calling in a day, and so many people need things like rental assistance or utility assistance, or they need furniture, they need a shelter to stay at, and so small things like that. There's always something to do. There's always a way to help people.
One of the ways that Diarra and Bethany helped people was by assisting our guests at the Micah Day Center with finding employment.
Two of the things that usually occur when homeless guests walk through the doors, these are the two things that they're seeking: employment and housing. So we felt like if we would actually assist them with an employment piece, and that's resume writing, interviewing techniques, and dressing for success when they actually go in an interview, then that would be three things that would be in their corner to support them, to let them know that we're serious about trying to help them establish an employment opportunity.
The resume project was an idea from both Mr. Washington and also the Micah Day Center coordinator, who knew that the homeless population were having trouble getting jobs because almost every job that they were applying for were asking for resumes. And a lot of the population which we serve rather were computer literate or didn't really know how to go about the process of making resumes.
One of the casinos was having a job fair, and a couple of the regular homeless guests that come in the Micah Day Center, Miss Viola sometimes helps people nail down, job opportunities that might fit their skill sets.
I actually had experience in making resumes at school, so I offered that I could use a very similar format that I'd used back at school in order to transfer it over to the Micah Day Center guests. And that ended up being a very interesting process because the difference between working with college students and someone who started to work to support their family when they were 12 years old and didn't even get to finish getting a high school degree is very different. You have to be very skill-oriented as opposed to degree and clubs and extracurricular type events like you would do for a college student.
I would sit down and go through a resume template with whoever had signed up, and then Bethany would type it up.
I was able to sit down and hear the life stories of these people and how they had ended up on the streets, and they really were looking to better their own lives, and it was just very cool to be able to spend time with individuals who, in any other circumstance, I would not have been able to.
And after they finished getting their resume done, we would print out for them, and Mr. Kenny would sign the voucher for them to go to Goodwill so that they can get a professional clothing for their interviews.
So it was a twofold. It was a win-win for the client as well as for the interns, because they would basically be taking ownership of a project that was needed here in the center to basically meet one of the needs that we was trying to provide to the people that we serve.
I believe, I'm not sure, I believe there's 2 or 3 of our clients actually ended up getting jobs, so that was really exciting.
That's the power of Back Bay Mission. 2 interns working together to help homeless people overcome some of the obstacles that keep them from getting jobs. Diarra and Bethany had a lot of other amazing experiences at Back Bay Mission. You can read about them on our website, thebackbaymission.org. And while you're there, I hope you'll consider making a gift to support this wonderful organization. After all, we can only do what we do, strengthening neighborhoods, seeking justice, and transforming lives with the support of people like you.
I would recommend it just because how enlightening the experience is and how it changes you as a person. There's just something so very great about that type of experience that I would recommend it to anybody.
I think it's a great experience to have, and I know that whoever whoever comes out here, I know that this experience will change people for the better.